Top 10 Scariest Prehistoric Creatures. Ever wondered what are the scariest prehistoric creatures that ever walked the world? Lions may be at the top of the food chain, but they can't stand a chance with the mentions we have today. Let's dive into an era where eagles terrorized people, and a beast like the Gigantopithecus graced the earth. Number 10. TRex and Sarcosuchus. Sarcosuchus and T-Rex have both held the top of the food chain since the beginning of time, but it's clear that neither of the two can stand each other. These two animals have had vicious battles in the past, with some truly brutal battles between the two. The laws of the jungle have never changed, and it seems that it's survival for the fittest, as this Sarcosuchus decides to take a bite of a dinosaur quenching its thirst in the river. The T-Rex is one of the most brutal of its species, with a large body size and a tail that wrecked as a wrecking ball when needed. Sarcosuchus was also well built and as vicious as they come. It had stealthy attacks. You never knew when the Sarcosuchus was tailing you, and it would appear out of the blue with a thud. Yikes. Number 9. Josephfortigazia. Who names this creature this in the first place? Today's rodents are nothing compared to the rodents of old. Let me introduce you to Josephfortigazia, one of the many extinct species today. What made this particular species stand out from the rest is its peculiar size. Would you believe me if I told you this monster grew to the size of a cow? These giant rodents survived solely on plants. Josephfortigazia has a 1-foot set of incisors to top off the already devastating look. I wonder what this animal was doing with a 5-foot tail on its back. If you already scream your lungs out when you see a present-day rat, it would definitely be a scary encounter bumping into a 10-foot long giant rodent in your storage cellar, wouldn't you think? Number 8. Gigantopithecus. Around 1,000 years ago, a Bigfoot was alive as an ox and lived most of its life in Indonesia, where its remains were later discovered. The Gigantopithecus originated from the ape family, but weighed nothing close to an ordinary ape. It's believed that this giant weighed close to a ton and grew to shocking heights of about 10 feet. The Gigantopithecus is a herbivore and enjoyed chewing its favorite fruits and bamboo sticks. This magnificent creature posed no danger to its counterparts in the jungle, but I would guess no animal would want to challenge it because why would you ever try to challenge such a giant? Number 7. Megalodon. Our list wouldn't be complete without featuring the ancient king of the sea, the Megalodon. Originating from the predator shark family, this sea monster was one to be feared. By the looks of its teeth size, it sure meant business. Research reveals that this macro shark fed on other large fish in the water. The creature could grow up to 59 feet long, and one could confuse it for a whale. It lived deep in the waters and had an instinct for blood. Had they been alive to date, they probably would wipe out the current entire fish life in the sea. Number 6. Meganeura. I am convinced beyond doubt that the dragonfly species originated from the ancient Meganeura. The Meganeura was a large insect and couldn't go unnoticed. It was well equipped with a wingspan of about 65 centimeters, which played a key factor in its flight capabilities. Their size has left the world in shock, unable to digest that once upon a time, there existed such big insects. A close-up look at this insect might leave you with a nightmare, so don't stare for too long. Number 5. Arctotus. Like many bears today, the Arctotus was also blessed with a large physique and razor-sharp sets of claws that were used for hunting. To intimidate its prey, the Arctotus stood on 2 legs measuring more than 11 feet tall, with some weighing over 2,400 pounds. It would have been practically impossible to coexist in the same location with this beast that not only weighed more than some cars, but was also a predator capable of preying on humans. It's crazy that you haven't come across folktale with devastating descriptions like that. Number 4. Arthropleura. Back in the day, the Earth wasn't as we know it, and creatures such as the Arthropleura weren't considered weird at all. Fossils of this centipede left people worried about what other scary creatures lived on our planet. This weirdly structured invertebrate was too big, no predator feared picking on it. I'm not sure why the species went extinct, but it might have been as a result of the imbalance in its food chain. Even the most dangerous creature on Earth doesn't have the privilege of enjoying a life free of being preyed upon. The Arthropleura, however, was a creature of its kind. Its devastating looks made it so difficult for any animal to dare approach. Its weird-looking head and numerous legs made it even worse. Would you dare tread a path facing this creature? Personally, I wouldn't want to even look at its photo twice. Number 3. Archaeotherm. The Archaeotherm, commonly referred to as Hell Pig, isn't the main reason that it made it on our list. The masculine beast was armed with long, strong jaws that made it look like a creature from a horror film. It's believed they can grow to the size of a cow. I wouldn't want to imagine an encounter with this monster in a dark alley. The interesting fact about this ancient species is actually they originate from the whale and hippo family. Unlike the rumors online claiming that this creature is a far cousin of the sheep, this monstrous species measured up to 6 feet long and weighed 600 pounds, if not more. These creatures enjoyed the North American wetlands, where hunting for a meal was a piece of cake. Besides its unique jaw, the fact that no one could tell apart a male from a female of the species made it even more devastating to see. The Archaeotherm utilized its strongholds adequately, and I'm sure it wouldn't mind chewing on someone's foot. I'm glad to hear that this species went extinct millions of years ago, cause I don't think I'd be able to cope with creatures like that lurking in the dark. Number 2. Host Eagle. The Host Eagle that ceased to exist about 600 years ago turns out to be amongst the largest of its species. This is an apex predator that ruled the skies of New Zealand, triumphing over the rest of the land and sea creatures. They had a wingspan of 2.6 meters and boasted a huge body. It didn't need large wings since it spent most of the time maneuvering through the thick New Zealand forest. The Host Eagle had a fierce-looking face with a razor-sharp beak and talons that could grip on prey as large as the moa. Don't be amazed to hear that it even threatened human lives after havoc broke out between the huge Host Eagle and the native village on the South Island of New Zealand. The results of a scramble for food turned pretty vicious, leaving a trail of loss for the both parties. History reveals to us a clear description of a merciless carnivore that walked with the skies. We're lucky this creature went extinct many years ago. I doubt any of us would have survived its wrath. Number 1. Forest Racidae. The name terror bird suits this ancient species that enjoyed terror in the South American savanna lands. Its prehistoric name was Forest Racidae, and nothing good presided over this enormous creature. It looked rather odd and ugly with a long pair of legs. Picture the modern-day hen measuring about 3 feet taller than its normal height. These birds existed in 2 types. One was blessed with flying abilities, and the other was flightless. They mainly survived by preying on other animals and didn't care who it belonged to. This resulted in conflict with other predators, where terror birds reigned supremacy on the rest. It wasn't until the early cradle of mankind that the Forest Racidae slowly shrank, and finally vanishing away into the depths of history. See you next time.